Hey, what's up, geeks? Darron here. Now, in this video, I'm going to let you know how long it takes to actually learn how to code. And this is going to vary from person to person. I don't agree with people who say they can teach you how to learn how to code in about a month or two. I mean, that's unrealistic in my opinion, but I do know some very smart people. And it's going to vary based off of your background. If you went to school for computer science and you have some kind of technical background, it's going to be a lot easier for you. But before I get too deep into that, in the description below, if you're interested in learning React Native, there's a link to the free course. Just click the link, provide your information, and you'll receive a link to the course. Also, what I'm really trying to build is the Facebook group channel. Facebook group channel is a place where all React Native developers can go, and we can share our React Native issues and then help each other with employment, etc. Just a cool spot to network. Now, as I was stating, when you are trying to learn to become a software developer, it's going to vary. Because I know in college, for me, there were certain topics, certain subjects where I didn't have to study, like math. I didn't really have to study math, and I would get at least a B plus or higher. But there were some like English courses, not English itself, but something that involved like reading, where it would take me some time. I'll have to read the book a few times before we had a test. And every student was different. Some people could read a book right before the class would start, regardless if they were interested in the book or not, and get an A. And the same thing goes for coding. If you're coding, for me, it took me about to really know what I was doing, because I had nobody helping me when I learned. It took me about, honestly, man, about 6 months to a year. And it took me that long. The thing is, it went so fast because I really enjoyed what I was learning. It was always something new to learn, and I was excited that when I'll figure something out. I remember having a lot of headaches because I just didn't understand the terminology associated with software development. So when I had a bug, I didn't know what a bug was. I didn't know how to debug, and it just I remember just getting like headaches, man. It wore me out because I didn't know where to find solutions. But now today, obviously I understand what debugging is. I understand, like, if I see a certain error, I know where to find that error. But when you first start coding, man, it's really tough. It can be really hard. I know for me, when I first started coding, I tried to learn Objective-C, and I didn't know Objective-C was one of the harder languages out there. But I wanted to learn how to build iOS applications. And while I was building these iOS applications, well, I really wasn't building. I was reading the books, I was copying what was in the books, and I was trying to make sense of what I was doing. But Objective-C is just it's a whole nother world, man. And it intimidated me a little bit, but I still had my excitement for software development. So from there, I actually got into web development. Web development, I always intended on going back to mobile, but I thought that, hey, if I can get comfortable with HTML and CSS, then I can go back to mobile. So I went into HTML, CSS. I started building websites. The thing with HTML, CSS, it helped me build my confidence. I understood what the HTML components were used for, and then I understood how to style those components. And honestly, CSS is still hard to this day. CSS, you can there's levels to CSS. All right, so anyways, I got really comfortable with HTML, CSS, and then adding JavaScript to a website. And I just got lucky that React Native had just came out. Facebook announced it, and there was another platform where I can actually build mobile apps, which was my passion. And yeah, man. And from there, it just accelerated for me. React Native, the way that you use those components is similar to the way that you use components on the web. So it made it easy for me to actually think of a design and get that design on the screen. It took me time to really build the functionality within the application and understand what an API was and understand what a database, understand what the database was and how you can actually store data, create, read, update, and delete CRUD, how you can use CRUD operations to update the database. So it took me some time because I was only doing it myself, but people were throwing things at me. They were saying things I didn't understand, but over time, all this stuff started to make sense. And for me, it took about 6 months to a year. But it can go a lot faster for you. It can go longer or it can go faster. It depends on the person. We all learn differently. And like I said, I was excited about coding. But I do know some people who are just, they're nerdy and they're geek. They're cool. They love geeky shit. Whatever it is, they pick it up fast. And for whatever reason, they pick it up fast. So there are people who can definitely start learning how to code in about 3 months. They could get a job as a coder in 3 months. Because at that time you're just a junior. You're a junior developer, and then companies, they don't expect you to know everything, so they're gonna train you anyways. So it took me 6 months to a year to feel comfortable, but you can get a job in about 3 months, and then it's gonna take you like about over a year. Once if you're with a company, period. If you learn if it takes you a year, 6 months to 3 months, it's going to take you about a year to get really comfortable as a software developer. Because then that's when it becomes easy. It becomes predictable. When somebody tells you about a feature, you can already design that feature in your head, and you already know how much code you're going to need for that feature. Now, as far as pay, when you first start coding as a developer, honestly, when you get your first job, I have no idea what you can expect to get paid. The reason being is because COVID has changed the game. It's definitely, there's so much opportunity for software developers, and you can compete with, companies are competing with major companies for like good developers. So for you as a junior developer, because there's so much competition for the seniors, it may be easier for you to get a job. I don't know. If you're in this position, leave a comment. But when I first got my first developer position, I was making about 80 grand. And I got 80 grand because there were 2 companies that wanted to hire me. And another company was like, hey, we'll match what this other company is doing. And the other company was in a different state. It was in California. So I went ahead and I stayed here in Utah. But now that everybody's working remotely, I think the hardest thing actually when you first start coding is to set yourself apart from other people. If you've done everything, you purchased the courses, you've read the books, you've built websites, you have a portfolio, you have a landing page where recruiters can go to and they can check out what you have and basically get you into the door. I think once you got that far, it won't take you that much time. Honestly, it took me after trying to get a software development job, it took me about 2 months to get hired. All right, 2 months is not that long. So I think that today, because recruiters reach out to me all the time, I would expect for somebody that's committed, they've done all those things, they have the portfolio, they have the projects, I would expect for them to get hired in about 2 months as well. 2 months to a month. I would say 3 months. Within 3 months, I would expect them to get hired, because a lot of these recruiting companies, they train you nowadays. So recruiting companies train you, and then if you're lucky enough to get a salary position right out of college or right away, they're gonna train you. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. But anyways, that's my 2 cents on how long it should take you to learn how to code. I hope you found this video helpful. Something like this would have been definitely helpful for me. But like, comment, subscribe. If you're interested in learning React Native, check out the link below. Also check out the Facebook group, and I'll catch you later. Peace.